It's Medicare open enrollment time.
And there are a lot of decisions to make.
And the information can be overwhelming.
We help you prepare right now on Retiring Today.
Welcome to Retiring Today. It's Medicare open enrollment time. It's an exciting time if you're 65, but it also comes with a lot of decisions. Here to help us wade through all the information are two people. This is Merkle. He's a certified financial planner, a certified financial fiduciary, and a retirement income certified professional. And this is AnnaMarie Morrow. She is the director of Medicare here at Merkle Retirement Planning. Okay, AnnaMarie, if you are 65, almost 65, you know it. They know it out there. Their mailbox is full.
Absolutely. And not just the mailbox outside of your house. The email inbox is full. The text message inbox is full. A lot of times the voicemail box is full. So yeah, a lot of information to sift through, especially when you're turning 65 and every year during open enrollment.
Yeah, and the information, would you say all of it is absolutely accurate, really good information, stuff you should believe, or is some of it a bunch of junk?
All of the above. You'll find your diamonds in the rough with a lot of great information. A lot of it contradicts each other. So you really need to sift through and understand what your personal situation is and how it relates to Medicare.
And that's what we're going to help you do today, is talk about what open enrollment means, the information, kind of help you wade through it all. And Lauren, you're a certified financial planner, retirement income certified professional. I said all this stuff. Medicare, though, you know a lot about it, but it's so important that AnnaMarie Morrow is an integral part of our team because she's a specialist in it.
A lot of people have confusion when it comes to Social Security election, but then they get to Medicare and they're like, whoa, this is even more confusing than when they went through the Social Security election. And even worse, sometimes you have to make the decision at the same time. What are you doing with Social Security and Medicare at the same time? So it's a maze of mess, which is why we have to have a Medicare healthcare specialist. That's why it's so great to have AnnaMarie on the team, because she can help you. She helps our families directly assess what's the good, what's the bad, what's the real, what's the not real, and then you can make a more informed decision on your Medicare plan as you go to retirement, but also many years into retirement, because some of these decisions you have to remake on an annual basis.
And some of these decisions, Lauren, they aren't just Medicare decisions. They work together with the entire plan, which is kind of defined in 5 guiding principles.
Yeah, the 5 guiding principles, the decisions you make with one of those principles can directly impact the decisions that you make with the other principles. So we have the income planning principle. When you retire, you know you need income. Where's it going to come from? The income that you take could directly impact how much tax you pay. What is your retirement tax bill and how do you minimize that tax bill? And then we have the long-term care, healthcare, Medicare, which AnnaMarie helps us out with those components. And then we have estate planning, and then the investment principle of the overall Merkle retirement method, which is the process we use to develop customized retirement plans.
Okay, so AnnaMarie, what's going to happen today is you're the expert. You're the content expert. Lauren and I, we're going to ask the questions. Of course, Lauren's going to jump in as well. But first, let's get some of the basic information out of the way when it comes to open enrollment, the dates and the deadlines.
Yes, October 15th through December 7th. You want to mark this time period every year, just like you do the beginning of every year of meeting with your CPA or whoever does your taxes. This is the integral part of the year where you can make those changes for the following year. Because that's something about healthcare. It keeps us on our toes, as it can change and does change every single year. So October 15th to December 7th, that's your time period to make the changes necessary.
Okay, so just got some frequently asked questions here on the paper. Some people, of course, very excited. They're 65, they're ready for Medicare, maybe they're thinking about retirement. This date has helped them. What about those people that maybe are still working? Do they have to enroll?
No, if you're still working, if you're on an employer group health plan, over 20 employees, that is considered qualified coverage. So there would be no penalties. If you do work beyond the age of 65, you have this coverage, you can keep that coverage and not think about electing Medicare until it's time to retire.
And then do people get automatically enrolled if they don't? Or is there a misconception about that?
That's a great question. You are automatically enrolled in Medicare if you have taken Social Security. So Social Security, let's say you do choose to apply for Social Security at 62 or 63, or you're on a spousal benefit, you will be automatically enrolled in Medicare when you turn 65. They'll send you a card about anywhere from 3 to 6 months in advance. And a good note to take with you is don't throw it away. It looks like junk mail. It comes from CMS, and they don't put forth any extra dollars to make it look pretty. So something to keep your eye on if you are on Social Security before the age of 65.
And that's a card you have to have with you when you go in for medical appointments, and if you don't, does it just slow the whole process down?
It does. You definitely want to hold on to your Medicare Part A and B card, and you also need your Medicare number and your start dates to enroll in whichever supplement plan you go with.
So AnnaMarie mentioned Social Security, a great time, of course, for you to jump in here because should not be overlooked part of a retirement income plan.
No, and it does go hand in hand with Medicare as well, because if you're taking Medicare, you're paying the premiums for the parts of Medicare you have to pay premiums for. But if you haven't elected your Social Security, that means you're paying for Medicare out of pocket. So you're going to have to actually physically write a check or however you choose to pay that. It's not coming automatically out of your Social Security payments. And then once you elect Social Security, then it will switch over and your Medicare premiums will then come out of your Social Security payments. And that's an important note to plan for as well, because if you are planning on receiving a $2,000 a month Social Security payment, you're already taking Medicare, you turn on Social Security, you're not really going to get the $2,000 a month. You're going to get $2,000 minus what you're paying for Medicare. And then if you choose to withhold taxes out of your Social Security income, because for most people, Social Security is taxable at some level. And if you choose to withhold taxes, then that $2,000 a month can steadily decrease in a hurry.
So we're talking about open enrollment, and you mentioned the December 7th date. Is that a deadline by which I have to sign up, or what does that open enrollment mean?
That's a great question. It's a deadline for enrolling in a different plan. So let's say that you have a specific drug card that is covering your list of medications that are really cost saving with your prescription medications. Well, drug cards can and do change what medications they cover every year. So December 7th is your deadline to make that change if you need to. I met with someone not long ago where they had missed that deadline. Their agent didn't reach out to them during open enrollment, and when they went to get refills in January, their costs were hundreds of dollars more than they had been the previous year. So it really is important to make sure that your drug card is still covering the same medications you're on, new medications you might be on, or you find the appropriate card for the next year.
Which is really why it's important you talk to the families that you're helping with Medicare every year to see what kind of drugs are they on, have they changed, is the coverage that they had for the prior year still appropriate based on all that information, or do you need to make a change? And that's why the Medicare election decision is not a set it and forget it throughout the course of retirement. Legislation changes, plans change, and your needs change. So we need to do this evaluation on a yearly basis to make sure you get the coverage that you need.
AnnaMarie, what if I'm signing up for the first time? So is there a deadline to sign up for the first time?
Yeah, that's great. That's your initial enrollment period. Whether you're turning 65 or you're retiring at age 67, you have a 7-month window. So what that is the 3 months prior to your birth date month or your retirement date month, the month of, and then the 3 months after. So it's a 7-month window you have to get that enrollment done. Keep in mind, the 3 months after your 65th birthday are a buffer against a Part B penalty. You could have a delay in coverage if you prolong it after your birthday month, but it's just a buffer against the penalty.
Well, and we know that your Medicare decisions, your retirement decisions, they are unique to you. So here's a great opportunity to talk directly with a retirement planner about your situation. It's a 15-minute retirement checkup call. It's a complimentary call, and you can go to merkleretire.com right now and schedule your 15-minute checkup call today. We'll continue talking all about Medicare. We're going to get into the alphabet of letters that goes after the word Medicare. We'll talk about IRMA. There's a lot more to discuss when Retiring Today continues.
When planning a big trip, do you like to look up points of interest, read restaurant reviews, or map out how to take the scenic route? You may spend days or even weeks getting ready for a week-long vacation. What about the 20 or 30-year journey that is retirement? Join us for a complimentary online workshop, Journey to Retirement, November 9th or 10th at 6:30 p.m. What you can learn from the comfort of your own home in these online workshops will help you plan for the most exciting journey of your life. Register today at merkleplan.com.
I feel like a ton of bricks has been taken off my shoulders. They know so much about everything. I'm getting information about Medicare and Social Security. the Merkle retirement team really knows what it is doing. They knock it out of the park with timely responses and empathetic handling of sensitive issues. Thanks for everything you do, Merkle Retirement Planning.
Welcome back to Retiring Today. We're having our discussion all about Medicare. I'm here with Lauren Merkle and AnnaMarie Morrow. AnnaMarie is the Director of Medicare here at Merkle Retirement Planning. Let's get to the four components of Medicare, what they are and what they mean.
Yeah, perfect. The four components of Medicare are the letters you hear about. So A, B, which is original Medicare, and then you have C and D. C is the supplemental route, and D is the prescription drug card.
Okay, and everybody does not pay the same amount for this kind of coverage. It is income-based?
So your Part B, part of original Medicare, that is income-based. And what that is called is the IRMA. It stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And I believe we have a graph pulled up here. You can see on the far left side, those are your income ranges for married filing jointly, and then single, and then on the right side are the premiums that you can expect to pay if you fall within those income ranges. And something else about IRMA, it looks back 2 years. So let's say you are filing for Medicare this year, 2021. They look back at 2019, and it can look a lot different as, if you're retiring, your income is going to be much different looking 2 years back than it is at retirement. So there is an option out there to file an appeal. You have had a work or a life-changing event, which could qualify you to submit this appeal and possibly receive that reduction in the IRMA.
And you've had a lot of success with that appeal. It's not guaranteed.
Right.
So you can file the appeal and you can see what they grant you. This is why we need to be careful. If you can control your income, you need to be careful and make sure that you understand how your income is going to impact what your Medicare Part B and then the drug plan is going to cost you. So in the working years, it's harder, right? Because the way you control your income in the working years is you just work less and make less. But when you're in the retirement years and you're employing these different strategies, now you have more say about what your income level is going to be. If you've created enough tax diversification where you can take your income from pre-tax, take some income from after-tax, take some income from tax-free, or you're working on putting more pre-tax monies over to the tax-free piece through the Roth conversion, you really have to identify where's that income limit threshold that's comfortable for you, that makes it a good deal for you to engage in those strategies to make sure you're not paying too much for Part B and Part D.
And when I think of Medicare on a real just pedestrian level, I think, healthcare subsidized by the government. It's got to be cheap, right? I've paid taxes all these years. But I saw that IRMA graph. Some people pay $500 a month for this, and this isn't even complete coverage. You're going to have to probably add more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, at the beginning of the year, Lauren and I met with a couple who they were coming to see us for the first time. They were excited to retire, and they actually brought with them this itemized list of their net expenses, what they expected to pay in retirement. And don't worry, we don't see that a lot if you don't have that kind of information on hand. But they had planned for it. They knew their Part B, $148.50 for each of them, and then they had they were guessing at what their supplemental coverage could cost. They really had that list together. Well, then as we went through their tax planning and their investment planning and their income planning, come to find out they were each going to have to pay over $500 just for their Part B. That didn't include also the IRMA with Part D. It didn't include the supplement, over $500 a piece. So you really want to take that into your planning when you are 5-10 years out from retirement. It can really be effective when you're able to implement strategies.
Yeah, so for the two of them, that was over $800 between the two of them more per month in Medicare Part B premiums, and that would take place for 2 years. So that's something that we have to plan for. We want to be aware of it so those surprises don't creep up and then derail the spending plan, which $800 a month for a lot of people could change their spending plan.
And I'm going to go back to the letters again, AnnaMarie. So C and D, those are things you can choose to add. They're kind of add-ons, or what do they do for you, or how do you make those decisions?
Yes, this is all the information that people are seeing fill up those boxes. So Part C is your supplemental insurance. So A and B, Much like Social Security, it was not created to be a retiree's sole form of health care like Social Security, not a retiree's sole form of income. So C is where you come in with the supplemental coverage, whether that's an Advantage plan or all the lettered plans we hear about, F, G, N, that can also be an option. And then when you get to your Part D, if that's the drug card. And if you go the traditional route, like a Plan G, then you would have a standalone drug card. Or if you go the Advantage plan route, a lot of Advantage plans have the drug card built into those plans. So this is where there's just so much information, a lot of conflicting information out there. It's so important to sit down with your planner, let them know what you expect out of your healthcare or your supplement options with Medicare, and really strategize where your cost savings can be.
And so if I'm trying to decide which one of these to add on, is it based on my medical health history? Is it based on my income? I mean, there sounds like a lot of decisions. How do you steer people?
So your income, that is directed to your Part B
Okay.
and your Part D.
Got it.
When it comes to supplemental, it boils down to a lot of factors. When you are first aging into Medicare or retiring and electing Medicare, you have guaranteed issue. So you don't need to do any underwriting on a traditional Plan G or Plan F or an Advantage plan. But after that, as the years go by, if you do want to make changes during open enrollment period, if you are on an Advantage plan and you want to switch to a traditional Plan G, you would have to be underwritten. You need to answer health questions. If you want to switch to an Advantage plan, you won't need to worry about answering health questions. But these are all things to consider security-wise. What can help you sleep at night knowing if you do have a health event, what are you okay with happening the next day?
Yeah, that's almost like predicting forward though, right? Because clearly no one knows exactly what their health events look like, but you don't want to be cover yourself too much and spend too much a month on health care.
It's a lot like the other principles of the plan. We have to plan based on the information we have today and based on what we think tomorrow's going to look like, and then make the best decisions that we can to make sure that you have the coverage in place that you really are going to need. But that's also why there's a lot of flexibility within Medicare as well. What flexibility within, do you choose original, do you choose Medicare Advantage, and then on an annual basis there can be adjustments to that coverage as well. So nobody really knows what their life is going to look like in detail 5 years from now or even 10 years from now. So we need to use this complexity of Medicare to your advantage. You need to use this complexity of Medicare to your advantage, and understanding how each one of these pieces can work for you and really help you accomplish your goals is absolutely vital to making sure that you can use that complexity to your advantage.
You heard AnnaMarie mention Advantage plans and Medigap. We did a whole episode of Retiring Today on these two things, kind of comparing and contrasting the difference between the two, and we all learned a lot about Medigap and Advantage plans. Go to YouTube, search Merkle Retirement Planning, and you'll see the episode there. Now it's time for our Ask the Advisor question. Here's the question. We recently got this question. If I'm taking my ex-spouse's Social Security, am I automatically signed up for Medicare? We'll answer that question and more when Retiring Today continues.
Whether this is your first time electing Medicare or you've been using the coverage for years, there are important steps to take during the annual open enrollment period. Join AnnaMarie Morrow for our online workshop, Medicare Annual Enrollment, why you should revisit your plan each year. She'll discuss supplemental plans, prescription coverage, your network of providers, and more. This information can help you choose the best coverage for you and could even save you money. Register at merkleplan.com.
When planning a big trip, do you like to look up points of interest, read restaurant reviews, or map out how to take the scenic route? You may spend days or even weeks getting ready for a week-long vacation. What about the 20 or 30-year journey that is retirement? Join us for a complimentary online workshop, Journey to Retirement, November 9th or 10th at 6:30 p.m. What you can learn from the comfort of your own home in these online workshops will help you plan for the most exciting journey of your life. Register today at merkleplan.com.
Welcome back to Retiring Today. Here is another look at our Ask the Advisor question. If I am taking my ex-spouse's Social Security, am I automatically signed up for Medicare? If you have a question that you'd like to see us answer on the show, you can text it to the number on your screen. The woman who knows all the Medicare information AnnaMarie Morrow, what would you say?
If you are under the age of 65 and you are getting on a spousal benefit or your primary benefit, you should expect to be automatically enrolled in Medicare when you age in at 65. But expect that
there is a but.
There is a but, because if you are on Social Security, they are making the assumption that you are not working, so they should issue that automatically, but you always want to start looking, checking that mail, but if you don't see something arrive, your Medicare card arrive, within 5 or 6 months of your 65th birthday, give the Social Security office a call.
We're continuing our conversation about Medicare. Let's get down to it, AnnaMarie. What are these different alphabets? What does it all cost?
That's a great question. So part of the planning that we do is we put together your cost analysis. What can you expect to be paying when you are on Medicare? We know what the premium is going to be. If you've worked the qualified number of years, you've already paid for it, so expect a 0 premium. Part B, that's where the income planning comes into play, and we know what you can expect for your premium. Now, when it comes to if you are just on A and B, because it's your hospital and your doctor coverage, so why would I need anything outside of that? That's where you're going to run into a lot of co-pays, deductibles, things that you typically wouldn't have when you make your supplement option. When you look at supplements, that's where it does depend on age. It depends on where you live. It depends on the insurance carrier. And when it comes to your drug card, it depends on what medications you are taking. Everybody is vastly different on what it costs them. That's why it's so important to get together with your planner, meet with your agent, let them know what your expectations are when applying and getting ready to elect Medicare. I've never had the same conversation twice.
That's probably what makes it really interesting. Also, do you find that there is a misconception that A and B is enough, and then do people, I want to say something even minor, maybe break a leg or something small, and they get to the hospital and they're like, oh, wow.
Yes, heartbreaking enough. I get phone calls, a handful of phone calls every year where children are calling in with their parents or their grandparents in the hospital realizing that they only had A and B coverage, and they're starting to get the bills piling up. And what do I do? What are my options with just being on A and B? How much am I going to pay, and what option do I have to get on a supplement? So it's such heartbreaking conversation. Make sure that your family members, your friends know that supplementing A and B should be a vital part of the conversation.
And Lauren, healthcare is one, and long-term care, we put those two words together when we talk about the 5 guiding principles. Medicare and long-term care, generally speaking, Medicare doesn't cover long-term care, right?
Generally speaking, it doesn't. So if you're looking to offset the risk of this expensive long-term care coverage, you need to do it completely outside the realm of Medicare. Medicare is wonderful for a lot of different types of health conditions. Long-term care, it really doesn't cover. And this is part of what we're talking about here, is how to pay for Medicare and then the income plan. This is where the different principles, planning principles, really intersect, right? Determine how much is it actually going to cost you on the Medicare for the coverage that you need, and then the income planning component is how are you actually going to pay for what it's going to cost you, not only originally when you sign up for Medicare, but also with the Medicare premium increases, because there is a increase to Medicare premiums many times, and certainly over the course of your 20-year time horizon in retirement, you're going to be paying a different cost, an increasing cost, as we go through the different retirement phases. So the retirement income plan should account for how do you pay for it now, how do you pay for it later, and then the other healthcare costs that Medicare doesn't cover as well.
And AnnaMarie, as we kind of wrap this up, I know for you, just working with people, talking to them, that's all part of the joy for you. So you get a chance now to kind of talk to people out there. What are some of the, I wish I could tell you this before the open enrollment period, things that you kind of want to end on and make sure that people know?
Oh, that's a great question. Probably my biggest thing is, you always want to consider your healthcare situation and your financial situation when considering a supplement. But the most important thing to consider is what gives you that security. Would you rather know what to budget for every month and pay a premium? Or would you rather, have that freedom of no premium a month, but am I going to be comfortable with paying whatever out-of-pocket max this is? They are such opposite sides of the coin, these supplemental options, that is what dictates how people feel going into their healthcare, is what can they be held responsible for should the worst happen and be okay with that.
Yeah, and I think planning for the worst or the best or all the scenarios is, again, part of the whole comprehensive retirement plan and something that you really go through in fine detail at the Journey to Retirement workshops.
We call that what if planning, because as we go through life, there's always going to be the what ifs, the if thens, because we can't accurately predict what all the details are going to be down the road. So the plan has to account for that. And in the Journey to Retirement workshop, we talk about the 5 guiding principles that should be a part of the plan and all the different components you should be thinking about as you make that transition from the working world to the retirement world. And we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. We give specific examples. You could probably take some of the specific strategies that we convey throughout that workshop out of the workshop and apply them almost immediately to help improve what you're trying to accomplish to achieve your retirement vision.
Yeah, Lauren, I've heard people say it here in our offices. They didn't teach us this stuff in school, so it's kind of your chance to get some of the financial literacy information we just plain don't get in school.
Yeah, and it makes you feel better. I mean, think about any decision you make. If you have the information that's applicable to that decision and you're confident in that information, then you're also confident in the decisions that you make. And that's part of the value of a written retirement plan. It's one thing for us to say you're fine, you're going to be good, but it's another thing for you to actually see the visual in front of you. And you can see this is what you should be doing from a Medicare standpoint. This is how you're going to pay for it in your income plan. This is what you're going to do from a tax planning standpoint so you can keep more of your retirement income and send less to the IRS. When you can see it, then it's a completely different experience, and your level of confidence then is much greater than if somebody is just telling you it's going to be okay.
Okay, your opportunity to soak up all of this knowledge is the Journey to Retirement workshop. It's a complimentary workshop. There's information on your screen right now on how to sign up. And healthcare and Medicare, of course, just one piece of the retirement puzzle. We've got a lot more to talk about when it comes to retirement and your retirement vision. Another great resource is our podcast. It's Retiring Today. You can get your retirement information on the go. And we'll continue tackling all of the aspects of retirement on this show. It's Retiring Today, and we thank you for watching.
Whether this is your first time electing Medicare or you've been using the coverage for years, there are important steps to take during the annual open enrollment period. Join AnnaMarie Morrow for our online workshop, Medicare Annual Enrollment, Why You Should Revisit Your Plan Each Year. She'll discuss supplemental plans, prescription coverage, your network of providers, and more. This information can help you choose the best coverage for you and could even save you money. Register at merkleplan.com.
When planning a big trip, do you like to look up points of interest, read restaurant reviews, or map out how to take the scenic route? You may spend days or even weeks getting ready for a week-long vacation. What about the 20 or 30-year journey that is retirement? Join us for a complimentary online workshop, Journey to Retirement, November 9th or 10th at 6:30 p.m. What you can learn from the comfort of your own home in these online workshops will help you plan for the most exciting journey of your life. Register today at merkleplan.com.
Thank you so much for watching Retiring Today. We hope you've enjoyed the show.
See you next week.